Now, the figures for the retail sector are out today. It's widely expected that the stats will show that we're not spending as much this Christmas. Yeah, wait till you see my credit card bill. Discount stores have been long on our high streets. In fact, did you know that the first Poundland store opened in Burton in 1990? Well, in the current economic climate, more and more of them seem to be springing up. Well, our reporter Mike O'Sullivan spoke to Hussein Lalani, who's the co-founder of 99p stores at his shop in Derby.
What I would say to people who criticise us and who maybe say that we're bringing down the high streets, for a start, life may be great for you and you may not be worrying about the credit crunch or job insecurity. There's a lot of customers out there who are worried about that, who are on very limited budgets and are trying to save money. And stores like mine will actually help them. Also, I think people have to realise that the high street is evolving. You know, the high street from 10 years ago, 20 years ago is very different. And it's an animal and it continues to evolve. And this is just the latest stage in evolution. Pound shops and 99p stores are very mainstream. They're part of the everyday high street. Everybody goes to a discount store at least once a week.
What would happen to the high street perhaps if you weren't taking up these sort of these sort of units that are becoming available to you?
I think we'd end up with a gap-toothed high street, and there are already towns in the UK where the high street has fallen apart, where perhaps there was a Woolworths, which was the anchor tenant in that high street, and since they've gone, nothing's taken its space, and you know, empty shops are contagious, and you'll find the stores next door start to suffer. So I think it's important to keep these stores full, because that still keeps people coming onto the high street, and that brings more customers to other stores.
So your style of shop is adding to the dynamism of the high street and helping it to survive?
Absolutely. There are quite a few instances in stores we've opened where I've had letters or phone calls from neighbouring stores who at first were resisting us taking over the old Woolworths or whichever site we took, and afterwards they're really happy and they actually call and say, thank you for opening your shop. You're bringing so many people to my part of the high street, and my coffee shop, hairdressers, art shop, whatever it is actually doing a lot better now.
So were you able to compete for these sites before the recession?
No, before the recession it was a lot tougher. I mean, the site we're in here, it's a very prime site in a shopping centre in Derby. And to be honest, if we'd gone for this site 5 years ago, we would have come head to head with the likes of some fashion retailer, perhaps like Topshop. But now in the news you see Topshop is actually retracting. They're planning to close 200 or 250 stores. And again, that gives us the opportunity to move into these sites.
So are things a lot cheaper for you to move into now? You're facing less competition, or what?
There still is a competitive edge when it comes to the site, but we're finding landlords are a lot more willing to do deals to get properties let out. And part of the reason for that is thanks to our ex-Prime Minister Gordon Brown, who introduced empty rates on retail and commercial properties, which means as a landlord, if your site isn't rented out, you've still got to pay rates on it. So it's in your interest to get it rented out as quickly as possible.
So what about the attitude of consumers then to this sort of, the pounds 99p store? How have you seen that change over the years? Because it used to be perhaps a bit of a stigma attached to going into a shop like this.
That's right. There was a big stigma attached to shopping in discount stores. There's stories of people hiding their carrier bags and putting their shopping into M&S bags to hide where it actually came from. But I think nowadays people aren't embarrassed of shopping at discount stores, and it's part of everyday life. The stigma has gone completely, and I think we're here to stay.
That's Hussein Lalani speaking to Mike O'Sullivan in Derby. And strangely enough, if you go into the Westfield and there's a number of 99p pound shops in there, they are always busy, aren't they? They're always the place that seems to be the magnet for people going in, and they always put just outside these fantastic bags of like chocolates and different gift ideas. You think, wow, that's good for £1, and I think that draws you in, doesn't it? When you're in there, I don't know if you're anything like me, but you'll go down the aisles of 99p shops. There are things that you would never buy in a million years usually, or probably ever use, and yet you're just kind of like attracted to them. You're thinking, that's good for 99p, isn't it? We did a Secret Santa recently at work, and we find out next Wednesday, I think it is, what everybody's bought everybody. This is where everybody's name goes into a hat, and you pull somebody's name out, and then you've got to go and buy a gift for them. And we decided that we were going to put a £5 ceiling on this, so you couldn't spend any more than £5. And fortunately, the person that I got, which obviously I'm not going to reveal at this moment, it was quite easy to buy for. But then trying to get something that was only £5 was actually quite difficult. And in the end, I managed to get something. I did a bit of dealing and wheeling, says he, sounding like Del Boy, and I managed to get quite a good gift, to be quite honest. But it is one of those, isn't it? I think this Christmas, and I think the retail figures maybe will show this later when they're revealed, that we are becoming a little bit more shrewd, aren't we? We're becoming a little bit more canny. And whereas in the past, maybe you would have just gone into a shop and you knew instantly what somebody liked, you just took it off the shelves and you bought it. I think now we are actually going around finding more bargains and actually finding different ways that we can actually present gifts without it costing us an arm and a leg.